Now, let's get into Marvel. Because Marvel, I'm telling you right now, a lot of fun and interesting stuff in the pipeline here from Marvel. Talk about geeking out. I've been geeking out about Marvel Studios and the stuff that they've been putting out ever since Phase One was already being worked on and was being released. Then with each phase that we're getting, Kevin Feige has been surprising us with how he's keeping the ball rolling, how very tied in everything was and plotted very well. You could tell there's a roadmap that they're following, and they don't just like come up with stuff on the fly. These are things that that are structured and are planned out thoroughly. Not like what we've been getting with the DC stuff, and not like what we've been getting with any other like long-lasting franchises out there. So I've always been excited with what they've been working on the Marvel side. This year, it's been unfortunate that we didn't get our Black Widow like we were supposed to. That was pushed back, which, by the way, they announced that it's still being planned to release in theaters next year. They haven't announced anything about being able to release it on Disney Plus, or even as the premiere portion where you would have to pay the $29.99, which surprises me because I would think if anyone, including myself, were to pay $29.99 for a movie, Black Widow would be that movie, because that is the movie that I've been dying to see and was supposed to kick off this next phase of Marvel. But because of that, they had to kind of switch things around, right? So the first thing that we're supposed to get from Marvel releasing next year is WandaVision, and we've already been teased about with WandaVision with trailers that they've released recently, but it looks like that they decided to give us a little bit more, so they came out with another new trailer for WandaVision, and watching that trailer, because the stuff that we've been seeing has been kind of makes it look like it's like a goofy take on Wanda and the Vision kind of living their lives through sitcoms and all that, and it looks a little bit more goofy and comical. I think this is the first time that we get to see that there is something working on here, especially in the background, where everything is not, there is a reason why these are happening and nobody knows why, and Wanda herself is trying to figure it out, right? There could be outside forces, that is kind of making her do this. She's under control or something by some entity. She's trapped in this like weird alternate reality that looks like she may be trapped in there with other people, or at least in the minds of other people. So really, really interesting stuff. And we already know that this is going to lead into and tie into the next Doctor Strange movie, which they also reconfirmed is a fact. So really, definitely check out this new trailer if you don't mind just getting more insights. Or you could just wait, because the series itself is dropping on January 15th, a couple days before my birthday. So really looking forward to that. Then they finally gave us a first glimpse of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was originally slated to be the first series that we were going to get this year. But because of COVID, they had a lot of delays, so that got pushed back. But basically, we are getting Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and we got kind of a glimpse of how that world is working for the Falcon and for Bucky there. Bucky is rocking this new hairdo, and we got to see kind of like a lot of action scenes with Falcon, flying around, dodging missiles and all that stuff, what have you. From what I've read online and from people that may know a little bit about the production and the storyline, from what it sounds like is that within this series, because we know how Endgame played out, where old Cap gave Falcon the shield, and he was supposed to carry on that moniker of Captain America. From what I hear, and I don't know how true this is, so take it with a grain of salt, the government took the shield away and was like, no, we don't condone you becoming the next iteration of Captain America or what have you. But the series is supposed to have Bucky and the Falcon try to take the shield back and try to kind of bring home, so to speak, the moniker of Captain America. So if that's the case, that's actually very, very interesting, and it changes the idea of the show that I originally had in mind. Which was I thought it was just going to be a continuation of their adventures and possibly trying to get more into the background of AIM and all that stuff like that, or Hydra. We did get to see a glimpse of Baron Zemo in the trailer, so he's definitely going to play a big role in this, so that's going to be really, really interesting there. So yeah, really, again, it's just great that we got to see a glimpse of it, and we got to see what they're working on there. Now I read something separately too. No, that's gonna come later. Never mind. Let me continue. We also got a first glimpse finally of the Loki TV series with some footage that was released yesterday. And it looks like it's definitely going to be kind of like a crime caper, but I don't know where they are. Like, I don't know what's happening. We got to see Owen Wilson in there, interacting with Loki. So I don't know what kind of role he plays. It definitely takes place after the events of what happened of Endgame. If you remember the movie, it brought us back to the first Avengers movie, where the future Tony Stark was trying to get back the Tesseract. Events happened. The Tesseract landed by the feet of Loki. He grabs it and disappears. Now we get to see what happened immediately after that. So that's coming out in May of 2021. So that looks really, really exciting. Looks very interesting. But to be honest with you, I think with all the footage that I saw under Marvel that was released yesterday, this is probably one of the ones that I'm not that excited about yet. I would love to see how this is going to play into the overall arching universe and how it plays out in the stories. Also, before I forget to mention, it was said or hinted on yesterday that the Star Wars TV series and a lot of the Marvel TV series will have moments leading into a potential event movie. So meaning, like, the events that play out in the Marvel series will eventually potentially tie into one giant event movie. Whether it's a theatrical movie or a directed Disney Plus movie, I don't know. But that's exciting to hear about. Same thing could be said about Star Wars, where the events that may happen in the Ahsoka series, the New Republic series, and Mandalorian could tie into an event movie. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting. So, and then when I talk more about the other Marvel news, you'll see that things that happen or the characters that will appear in certain Marvel TV series will eventually land in a Marvel movie of a standalone character, what have you. That's definitely going to be in the roadmap, and that's definitely going to happen. So moving on, we finally got a first glimpse of the What If animated series, which looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You saw a lot of focus on the What If storyline of Captain Britain, and what if Peggy Carter got the soldier serum instead of Steve Rogers, and how she becomes Captain Britain. We also got a glimpse of what other potential what if storylines could look like. It was great to kind of see the Watcher the silhouette of the Watcher, and you hear him speaking, and saying, "I am the Watcher," and you know, I love the tagline. You know, kind of like he closes off the trailer by saying, "It begs you to ask, you know, what if." You know, like, and I don't know. I just really geeked out about that. I just thought it was a lot of fun. Also, just to go back, because again, I saw something here real quick. Captain and the Winter Soldier, the way that Kevin Feige described it is that it's look at it as a feature film that was split into 6 episodes. So that's kind of how he's describing the series. So that's something that to keep in mind when you're watching it. Like I mentioned before, Black Widow is still slated to come out in theaters only on May 7th of next year. They also revealed that they wrapped up production of Shang-Chi, that they've been working on, that is planning to come out on July 9th of next year. So next year we're already getting 2 Marvel movie theatrical movie releases. And then after that, again, they talked about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which will be coming out on March 25th of 2022. And like I said before, WandaVision, or the events of WandaVision, will tie into that movie. You know, you will have Wanda appear in the Doctor Strange movie, which will also kind of tie into stuff that happens in the next Spider-Man movie. But they didn't talk a lot about Spider-Man because obviously that's Sony. But they did reveal that a new character is going to be introduced in the Doctor Strange movie, and that is the character of America Chavez, better known as Miss America. Is it Miss America? Yeah, I think it's called Miss America, right? Or that's another moniker that she goes under. But America Chavez is going to be debuting in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So I was like, really surprised to hear about that. Was not totally expecting this. But the actress who will portray Miss America, or America Chavez, will be I'm going to butcher her name so bad, Jochil Gomez. If you don't know who she was, or I mean who she is, or who she, you know, I don't know. I didn't know who she was, but apparently you could see her in the reboot on Netflix of The Babysitter's Club. So if you wanted to check out to see who the actress is, she is going to be portraying America Chavez. So I think that is totally interesting. Again, very unexpected. I was not really you know, thinking that they would debut such a character in that TV series. I'll be fully honest, I only know about her based off of what I read today. I didn't really follow her in the comic books and all that. So all of you comic fans out there, maybe you guys can fill me in as to why she's such a fan favorite. But speaking of fan favorites, we got our first glimpse of Kamala Khan in the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series. So that is something that they are, as we know, they are working on. So it was nice to kind of finally see, as they released a sizzle trailer of how Iman Vellani, who is the actress that they pegged as Miss Marvel, how she's going to portray Kamala Khan there. It was a very touching moment too, when they kind of showed you a little bit behind the scenes of how she auditioned, and when they told her that she landed the role. It was like this giant Zoom call with like all the heads there, and then little Iman was like in the middle, and how emotional she got and all that stuff like that. So it was really interesting to see like how she's so far, how she's going to look like in the role there. It was also announced that her character and actress will eventually show up in the Captain Marvel 2 movie, which is supposed to come out on November 22nd. I believe that's November 22nd of possibly next year. They didn't really say, or at least what I'm reading here, the exact year of that release. Let me look that up real quick because again, I don't want to misspeak at all. I don't know, but yeah, eventually, just keep in mind, Iman, character of Kamala Khan, will be not only showing up in her own Disney Plus series, but she will also be showing in the Captain Marvel 2 movie. So they talked about Hawkeye, and we've gotten news about Hawkeye recently where, you know, they finally officially confirmed that yes, Haley Steinfeld will be playing Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye TV series. And then they finally announced and made it official that Tatiana Maslany will be playing She-Hulk after she denied it tremendously in the past that she's no way going to be playing She-Hulk and all this. So I found that extremely hilarious that they officially made that announcement. They also confirmed that Mark Ruffalo is going to be showing up in the TV series. But surprisingly, and again, made me very happy because I was a fan of the very first Hulk movie that came out within the MCU as we know it now. You know, that starred Ed. Whoa, I am just rocking out with the names today. Edward Norton. Oh, hello. But yeah, Edward Norton. He portrayed Bruce Banner and the Hulk in that series, in that movie, and then eventually Mark Ruffalo took over the role, starting with Avengers. I believe it was Avengers when he finally came out there. But they are bringing back Tim Roth, who appeared in that movie with Edward Norton, who played Abomination. So Tim Roth will be reprising his role for the She-Hulk TV series. And the way that Feige was talking about it, you know, obviously She-Hulk is a lawyer. Real name is Jennifer Walters. But the way he kind of like was describing her was like, yes, she, you know, we want to introduce you to the lawyer, and a lot of emphasis on the word lawyer. And you know, someone else kind of had my train of thought when I watched them say something on YouTube. But I do believe that the rumors we heard about Charlie Cox coming back into the Marvel Universe and showing up in Spider-Man, he may very well still show up in the new Spider-Man. However, I do feel like maybe this is a series where he's going to come back and show up, because it would make sense if she is a lawyer by day, She-Hulk by night, or vice versa. It would make sense to have a lawyer to lawyer confrontation or what have you, or team up, right? Again, that's just my speculation. I could be totally off base here, so take it with a grain of salt. Or maybe that's just my own fanboyism wishing that would be the case. They did talk a little bit about Moon Knight, the Moon Knight series that's starring Oscar Isaac, but there wasn't really anything like big within the presentation there. They revealed that Secret Invasion is going to be a series that they're working on, which will bring back Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn to reprise their roles. So how that's going to play out, I don't know. But Secret Invasion, I mean, when I was doing the Two Can Play That podcast this past week, we talked about Secret Invasion, and we thought that was going to be another phase within the MCU movie universe. But if they're working on a TV series here, that's going to be really, really interesting as to how that's going to play out. And I'm really excited because we still haven't gotten any reasoning as to why Nick Fury is in space. What base is he on? You know, like, why is he with all the Skrulls there? Like, what's going on, right? So really, really interesting to see how that's going to play out. And I'm pretty sure they're going to finally explain what's happening there. Is that the formation of S.W.O.R.D? We don't know. Excited. Something I was not expecting them to announce is that we are getting an Ironheart series, which, you know, if you know Ironheart, that is kind of like the female Iron Man, Riri Williams, and it will star Dominic Thorne. So I was really, really shocked that we are getting this, but it makes sense after hearing all the news that dropped, because we're eventually going to need a new Avengers team, right? And what better way to do so by bringing in like the younger Avengers, like the young Avengers, the younger members of what we've seen in the comics. And it was speculated in the past that yes, we will get this version of Iron Man, the female Iron Man. We thought that maybe Shuri might be taking over that mantle. Maybe she still might, but still knowing that they're working on this Ironheart series that could potentially tie into the overarching cinematic universe, go ahead and speculate as much as you can, because this is very interesting and kind of like throws another possibility in there. And Don Cheadle will continue to play War Machine in a new series called Armor Wars. Which is described as the Stark tech falling into the wrong hands. And God, Armor Wars was like a great run in comic books from what I remember back in the day. And just picture just Stark suits and all that stuff, in the hands of like all these like badasses and bad people, and just going toe to toe with each other, which we haven't really had a chance to see. Of course, we've seen the Iron Man suits going up against one villain altogether, but having them battle each other out, very, very interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out, but again, we're getting a lot of good stuff here, and it's really, really shocking, like all the stuff that we're getting. All right. We're already an hour and a half in, so this is probably going to be the longest podcast I'll ever do, because there's just so much to cover here. But let's fire through some more things. James Gunn is filming a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special for Disney Plus, which is really, really interesting. And if anyone was to do it in a weird and quirky way, it would be James Gunn. And they're also working on an I Am Groot series, which is going to be a series of shorts that will have Vin Diesel return as the voice of I Am Groot. So I think that's going to be like the version of that Droids show that they're working for Star Wars, something for the kids, but in the Marvel universe here. So when it comes to upcoming films that they have on the roadmap, Marvel confirmed yesterday that Christian Bale is joining the next Thor movie, and he'll be playing a villain named Gore, the God of Butcher. They also reconfirmed, after they teased us about it last year, that Mahershala Ali is starring in a Blade film. Peyton Reed is coming back for the next Ant-Man film, which is called Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which will bring Catherine Newton to star as Cassie Lang and Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. So those have been all officially confirmed and announced instead of the rumors that we've been having. Jonathan Majors, I'm a huge fan of him after watching The Five Bloods and Lovecraft Country on HBO Max. He's a great actor. He has a lot of range. I'm really curious to see how he's going to play Kang here. And again, because of Kang being involved in all this and the multiverses and all that stuff, we're going to be playing a lot about timelines and multi-dimensions and all that stuff like that, which is super exciting. And because of the multi-dimensions and all that, it led me to something that I'm even more excited about, which I will talk about in just a minute. But they also confirmed that Marvel will not recast Chadwick Boseman, the character of T'Challa, in Black Panther 2. So basically, they did say Ryan Coogler is still directing, but Black Panther 2 will continue to explore the world of Wakanda. They haven't said how they're gonna handle the T'Challa character in this movie, but they made it clear that they're not recasting Chadwick Boseman, at least for now, when Black Panther 2 comes out. So I think this is very respectable and good on them for doing so and making this type of announcement now, because if they did come to this conference saying that, yeah, we already got this is your new T'Challa, or by this time we're gonna replace him or what have you, that would be very disrespectful for the memory of Chadwick. This at least buys them time to figure out what they're going to do with the T'Challa character moving forward. Now, this brings me to the moment where I geeked out. I mentioned on Twitter, I even got teary-eyed when they finally made this confirmation, but they confirmed that they are working on a new Fantastic Four movie. America's first superhero family is hopefully getting their due respect and their just desserts and what they deserve to be a fair and better treatment in movie form. And they've pegged Spider-Man director Jon Watts to helm this film. I'm super excited about this, and it's funny that they got a director who was involved in Spider-Man for another studio to come over and direct their Fantastic Four movie. So this must mean that Marvel has a lot of faith in this director. They love what he's been doing with Spider-Man, and they think that he's gonna be the best thing to helm the new iteration of the Fantastic Four. Not a lot of details were kind of divulged about that, as far as like who's going to be in it and all that. Who knows? Like, will we get John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to, play the roles of Reed and Sue Storm? I don't know. It has been heavily rumored that they've had a lot of discussions over at Marvel, but who knows, right? And I think Krasinski's also been championing himself to play Reed for a long time. But just the fact that they've officially confirmed that they are working on a Fantastic Four movie. They had this awesome animation of the logo. Oh my god, I broke down in pure geek joy yesterday when I saw it, because the Fantastic Four has been my all-time favorite superhero group ever since I was a kid, when I used to watch the reruns of that Hanna-Barbera cartoon back in the day. Some of the first comics I remember reading were the Fantastic Four. I just love that dynamic, especially, and I was so disappointed, with what they came out with in movie form back in the day, the Tim Story versions of the Fantastic Four, especially when you compared it to a movie like The Incredibles, where that was the Fantastic Four movie we were supposed to get and we never got it. So I'm so curious and eagerly anticipating to see how they're going to handle this franchise moving forward under the Marvel banner, under the tutelage of Feige. So I'm really, really super excited. No mention of the X-Men. So we don't know anything about that and how they're going to be handling that. Again, not a lot of other details about some of the other franchises that they now have ownership of, ever since they took over Fox, right? So we don't know. No mention either about what's going to happen to the characters that were introduced in the Netflix series. I'm sure that's TBD, especially with the rumors of Charlie Cox roaming around out there about the potential of Daredevil returning in movie form or maybe TV series or what have you. But that's a lot of stuff, guys. I'm exhausted. Oh, hey guys. Thanks again for watching. If you want to check out my other videos, make sure to access them through this menu that you see on this side of the screen. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, or hit that logo you see right here on this side of the screen. I've always wanted to do that. Catch you next time.